So, hi, my name is Manansha and I'm going to give you today a brief introduction about unified memory and what it is all about. So, let's jump right in. So, first of all, we have the table of contents, what topics are going to be covered in this presentation. So, first is what is RAM, second is what is unified memory, third is RAM versus unified memory, fourth is M1 silicon chip, and fifth, is it worth it? So, let's begin. So our first topic for today's presentation will be what is RAM. We have all heard about RAM, but let's just take a gist of it. So what is RAM? RAM is a short form for random access memory. Random access memory is a type of memory that will hold data until your power runs out. It is a memory component needed for immediate working and can transfer data to the longer term storage. So it transfers the working data to the permanent storage. Now RAM comes in variety of types: SDRAM, VRAM, etc. But VRAM is a RAM that meets the technical demands of GPUs that are used for graphic processing and image rendering in graphical applications. Although CPU and GPU are designed for data processing, the CPU is designed to perform some or more general computations, but on the contrary, GPU performs the same task on different cores. So it is quite useful for image rendering and graphic processing. So although CPU and GPU have two different architectures, they depend on primary storage to get the data. So essentially there are two types of RAMs, standard traditional RAM and a VRAM. So what a VRAM and a traditional RAM does, that the VRAM is responsible for sending the data to the GPU and the traditional RAM sends the data to the CPU. So as we can see in the figure, there are two separate RAMs for two different units, one for CPU and one for the GPU. So now we get to the main part of our presentation. What is unified memory? So let's dive right in. So what is unified memory? Unified memory is a memory technology where access to the computer's entire memory resource, short term and long term, is shared between all the processing components of the computer. This means that CPU and GPU share common locations and there is no separate RAMs and VRAMs. The unified approach applies to all devices' physical memory locations. Apple is one of the leading advocates of this SoC approach. What do we mean by SoC approach? It is system on a chip. So Apple implemented this SoC approach in its first generation of M1 silicon chips. The RAM of this custom designed ARM based processor is shared as a pooled memory resource that any processing component can access. So with UMA, GPU or CPU can increase their use of system memory whenever needed and according to their requirements. Other parts of the SoC or system on chip are ramped down accordingly. A fabric controller allocates M1 memory between various cores without dedicating specific portions of memory to the individual SoC components. So essentially SoC approach does not give specific memory to all the components. It applies a unified approach. So processor components have free access to same memory addresses to acquire the data that they need. So it is quite easy to see the advantages of this unified approach. Apple believes that it results in more responsive computing with enhanced graphics and gaming performance because of the increased availability utility of the memory. So in this figure on the left hand side we can see the traditional approach where there are separate RAMs for CPU and separate VRAMs for the GPU. Now on the right we see the unified memory approach. So all the CPU and GPU share a common unified memory and can act accordingly depending upon their requirements. So now let's understand the difference between RAM and unified memory in detail. So talking about the differences between unified memory and RAM, we will first discuss about the format. So these RAM sticks comprise of multiple memory cells mounted on a PCB. What is PCB? PCB is a printed circuit board. JEDEC, the Semiconductor Trade Organization, standardizes DIMM, which comes in range of form factors which is suitable for PC or laptop use. With unified memory like the M1 or M2 etc., the RAM is integrated in the SoC itself. It is provided as unified memory up to 64 GB rather than having distinct memory for CPU and GPU. Now let's talk about the volatility. So essentially RAMs lose their data in case of power outage, but in case of unified memory it acts as a RAM, but the data is not wiped out in case of power outage or any type of power interruption. So talking about the relationship with the CPU, RAM provides the system memory that is used by the CPU to hold temporary files and data that it needs to carry out the operations in a given program. The RAM can process the data quickly and store the data later on. But in a unified memory, the CPU has access to the pooled resources because all the memory locations are pooled together. So it has much larger amount of memory it can use to perform these operations. As the hard disk is integrated, the acquisition and the storage of the data becomes faster. GPUs carry their own dedicated memory known as VRAM or visual RAM. We have talked about this earlier. This special allocation of RAM is necessary to support the demanding graphics applications like design software and gaming. VRAM is configured to ensure that graphics and video are correctly mapped and displayed. But in unified memory SoC, the GPU accesses the pooled RAM. Like again we talked about in a relationship with CPU. This enhances GPU performance significantly, as GPU can take as much as memory it requires according to the requirements. Now let's talk about capacity. System RAM and visual RAM are determined by the size of the RAM module supplied. Upgrading RAM and increasing memory capacity can help in delivering a greater performance and faster processing speeds. However, when you are trying to upgrade your GPU memory, you would require a separate GPU card. But now unified memory has a pooled memory resource, so GPU and CPU can acquire as much as memory they like. The pooled memory size needs to support all processor components generously for smooth fast performance that can cope up with the increase in demand. But physically upgrading this unified memory is quite expensive. Now let's talk about the main topic, speed. For programs to operate efficiently, they need to have adequate space to store their temporary files and data, which they will use during execution of different programs. So a lack of RAM or VRAM can therefore slow down your performance. In case of unified memory, pooled memory resource provides an increased memory consumption for each processor component. It has higher bandwidth bus, making the flow of data to the processor component much faster. So our next topic in this presentation will be M1 silicon chip. M1 silicon chip is the first generation of silicon chips released by Apple, and it is a great example for understanding unified memory architecture. So let's understand it in detail. So this is a pictorial representation of the unified memory architecture. So as we can see that CPU and GPU are connected to the fabric allocator, which allocates the memory to the CPU and GPU according to their requirements. Now let's take a case study that to begin with, the M1 Pro MacBook has significantly faster memory than M1 MacBook Pro 14-inch due to its use of 200 gigabits per second unified memory and an even faster 7.4 gigabits per second solid state drive. Data is transferred and stored on the SSD considerably more quickly. The new MacBook Pro's memory performance is far superior to that of prior MacBook Pro models and the vast majority of PCs as a result. So this was a type of an example or a case study that compares old generation and the new generation of MacBooks of Apple. So our final topic for the presentation is it worth it? So what we are talking about here is that is the switch from the traditional architecture to the unified memory architecture worth it? So now let's quickly discuss it. Unified memory is not a magical idea, but it symbolizes that Apple has been doing well for a while now. Apple took a simple concept that was already known and implemented in their M1 Macs. This upgrade was nothing big, but it was a simple change in the way things were traditionally being done. Maybe in a few years, unified memory will be the standard of memory and we will lose the meaning of word RAM or the traditional RAM we are currently aware of. Thank you. So at last I would like to thank you for listening to this presentation, and I hope you learned something from it. Thank you for bearing with me, and it's me, Manan, signing off.